You weren't imagining it. The sudden weight pressing on your chest. The streak of blessings that vanished without reason. The dreams that jolted you awake at 3 a.m., heart racing. The silence growing between you and those who once felt like home. This isn't just life. This is war. When a chosen one carries divine potential, they also carry a target. Someone has seen your light long before you ever recognized it yourself, and they want it gone. Not every curse wears black robes or chants in the dark. Some wear smiles. Some sit across from you. Some whisper your name in envy. And suddenly, the atmosphere around your life begins to shift. If you've felt the air get heavy, if you've watched relationships break for no reason, if you've walked into rooms and sensed something was off, you are not cursed because you're weak. You are cursed because you are dangerous. This is chosen one's sanctuary, the place where the hidden ones awaken, where scrolls open, where truth speaks louder than fear. Remember Job? The attacks didn't come because he failed. They came because he was favored. This video is not information. It's an unsealing, a decoding of your hidden war. Stay until the end, because what's about to be revealed might explain why your entire life has felt like a battlefield cloaked in mystery. And once you see it clearly, you'll never walk blind again. The marked soul. Why you're a target. To be chosen is not to be celebrated first. It is to be identified by heaven and targeted by hell. Before your gifts ever manifested, your presence disturbed atmospheres. The spiritual realm knew your potential long before you did, and that is why the attacks began before the recognition. Moses was hunted as a child. Joseph was hated before he wore the robe. Jesus was pursued before he preached a single sermon. This is the pattern of divine assignment. The darker the opposition, the greater the evidence that heaven has written your name on a scroll. You weren't attacked for your mistakes. You were attacked for your mantle. To carry light in a world ruled by shadows is to awaken resistance. But the darkness isn't just chasing you. It fears what will rise from you. You are not cursed. You are confirmed. And somewhere in the silence between accusation and calling, you were marked. Unexplainable misfortunes. The storm sent to confuse you. When everything starts going wrong for no visible reason, when blessings feel delayed, derailed, or devoured, you must look deeper than logic. Unexplained misfortunes are spiritual diagnostics. Cycles of loss, sabotage, and missed moments may not be the result of bad decisions, but of spiritual interference designed to make you doubt your identity. Job lost everything in rapid succession, not because he failed, but because he was being watched by both heaven and hell. The hedge was lifted, the testing began, and even then he was still called blameless. Your trouble may not be punishment. It may be proof that the hedge around you provoked the enemy. Curses often move through subtle sabotage, broken deals, repeated delays, financial droughts. The unseen war bleeds into the visible world. And if you've been wondering why your life feels like a maze with no exits, perhaps it's because someone sent a storm, hoping you'd forget you were born with wings. Disturbing dreams. The night realm under siege. When curses cannot enter your waking world, they infiltrate your sleep. Recurring nightmares, shadowy figures, sensations of being watched, chased, trapped. Dreams are not just subconscious stories, they are spiritual highways. Pharaoh was warned in a dream. So was Joseph. So was Pilate's wife. So are you. If your nights feel haunted and your rest never settles, you may be under surveillance from the spirit realm. Your dreams are not always yours. Some are assignments, others are warnings. But even in the deepest night, light speaks, and your authority extends to your sleep. Cleanse your rest, anoint your space, speak protection over your pillow, because what comes for you at night is terrified of what you'll awaken into by day. When dreams carry the fingerprints of fear, you are not being tormented. You are being summoned. Energy drain, the theft of your vital force. Some curses don't come to kill, they come to drain. Fatigue that no rest can fix, emotional exhaustion, a sudden disinterest in things that once brought you joy. This isn't laziness, it's leeching, a spiritual siphon on your soul. In Mark 5, the woman with the issue of blood said, "If I just touch the hem of his garment," because she knew power could flow from one body to another. But so can depletion. Energy doesn't just disappear. It is stolen, redirected, or suppressed. The enemy cannot create, so he must drain. And you, chosen one, are often the well he tries to poison. But your spirit is not bankrupt. Your life force is not for sale. And the more they try to take, the more heaven will restore. Let this fatigue be your warning, and let your rest become your weapon, because even oil burns out when the lamp is left exposed. Relational isolation, the curse that separates. Chosen ones often feel forsaken, but it's not always divine. Sometimes it's designed, sudden tension in relationships, friendships that fall apart without cause, misunderstandings that spiral into estrangement. These are not random, they are orchestrated, because a curse that can't touch your spirit will aim for your support system. Even Jesus, in his darkest hour, had no one awake to pray with him. This is the cost of the scroll, to be set apart so deeply it feels like exile. But isolation is not always punishment. Sometimes it's preservation. You are not being abandoned. You are being hidden from those who cannot carry your calling. And what leaves during your wilderness season was never meant to enter your promised land. Let them fall away, because heaven will never curse what it intends to crown. Mental warfare, the curse that speaks in your voice. Not every thought that enters your mind is yours. The most dangerous curses sound like your own inner critic. They don't shout, they whisper. You're not enough. You're failing. Why even try? But these are not reflections. They are infections, seeded to paralyze your forward motion. Elijah, fresh from calling fire down from heaven, ran into the wilderness not because he was weak, but because one word curse from Jezebel pierced his spirit. You are not losing your mind. You are hearing the echo of a spirit that knows your potential. Take every thought captive. Align your inner voice with the voice that called you beloved before you performed a single miracle. Because silence isn't always absence. Sometimes it's spiritual interference. Unusual phenomena, when the spiritual becomes physical lights flickering, objects falling, cold air, unexplainable sounds or presences. The physical world trembles when the spiritual realm is at war. If you've experienced strange disturbances in your home, your body, or your environment, you may be walking through a zone of spiritual collision. Jesus cast demons into pigs, and the pigs ran violently into the sea. Don't ever believe the lie that spirits have no physical effect. What you see is often the echo of what you don't. These disruptions are not to be feared, they are to be discerned. Cleanse your space, speak life into your atmosphere, because your home is not a battlefield, it is a temple. And where the Spirit of the Lord dwells, no curse has legal ground. Intuitive warnings. The sacred alarm. Within, sometimes the only evidence you'll have is a whisper in your gut, that tightening in your chest, that inner knowing that something is off, the resistance you feel around certain people, places, or offers, even when everything looks fine. Your discernment is your birthright, and your intuition is a prophetic instrument. God rarely yells, he nudges. Gideon didn't trust his own strength, but God said, "Go in the strength you have." That strength began with a feeling. Do not silence your senses to appease logic, because what your spirit discerns long before your eyes can see is often the truth that saves you. If something feels wrong, it probably is. You weren't cursed to be blind. You were anointed to see through shadows. Let your instinct be your early warning system. Let your unease become your altar. And when something inside says, "Leave," that may be the voice of heaven pulling you out before fire falls. What if the curse wasn't sent to destroy you, but to reveal you? What if the warfare wasn't proof of weakness, but the announcement of a warrior rising? You weren't forgotten. You were concealed, not buried, planted. The silence you endured was the sound of heaven drawing its sword. The dreams, the misfortunes, the isolation, the weight, it was all confirmation that your presence threatens powers that thought you'd never wake up. You are not the attacked one. You are the anointed one. Heaven trusted you with the pressure because it knew you would not break, you would birth. And now the scroll is sealed. The signs have been named, and the chosen one is no longer unaware. You have been marked, you have been forged, and now you are being sent. If something inside you ignited, if this message was confirmation that you were not crazy, but called, comment 777 below, not for engagement, but as a prophetic act. As a way of telling the darkness, I see you now. And I'm not afraid. Share the moment that shook you most. The sentence, the sign, or the silence that called your spirit by name. And if your soul knows this wasn't just a video but a divine appointment, subscribe to Chosen One Sanctuary. Because the scrolls are opening, the remnant is rising, and the next sound from heaven might be your name being spoken aloud. You are not alone. You are the next echo.